All rise, veuillez vous lever.
The International Criminal Court is now in session. L'audience de la Cour pénale internationale est ouverte.
Please be seated. We wish as well.
In these courtrooms, trials and the other proceedings at the International Criminal Court are taking place, while parties and participants, including judges, the prosecution, the defence and representatives of victims, are clearly visible. There's a less visible force behind the scenes, with the task of providing administrative and operational support. This often invisible force is the registry of the court.
The registry encompasses a variety of responsibilities that are crucial to the delivery of fair and public justice. A day of proceedings at the court requires the participation of interpreters, stenographers, security, audiovisual technicians, victims and witnesses support, defense assistants, protocol, IT technicians, public information officers and many other services. They are all part of the registry. And not only them. Registry staff in the headquarters and in the field offices is daily providing assistance and support to victims, witnesses, defense and office of the prosecutor, providing information to the public, maintaining communications and ensuring a safe environment for all.
All proceedings at the ICC are held before the judges. 18 judges of the court, working in chambers, are ensuring that the trials are fair, expeditious and conducted with full respect for the rights of the defence and the principle of adversarial debate, having further due regard for the protection of victims and witnesses. The trials are held in the presence of the accused. Suspects who don't appear voluntarily, the accused and the convicted, before transfer to the country in which they will serve the sentence, are placed in the ICC detention facility within a Dutch prison complex in Scheveningen. It holds in safe, secure and humane custody those persons detained under the authority of the ICC. The ICC Registrar has overall responsibility for all aspects of the management of the detention centre, including security and order. In fulfilling its mandate, the ICC Registry endeavours to ensure the mental, physical and spiritual welfare of the detained persons within an efficient system of detention. The Security and Safety Section is responsible for the security of all participants in the proceedings and all staff of and visitors to the court. It provides a secure and safe environment within the seat of the court and its field offices. This also includes regular security assessments and the implementation of the highest security standards.
It is fundamental for the registrar to remain neutral, as it supports different actors with diverse, if not to a certain extent, opposing roles. The registry supports counsel for the defense, just as it supports counsel for victims and the prosecution. Investigators for both the defense and the prosecution are supported in the field offices by the registry field staff, equipment, vehicles, space and security. The fairness of proceedings before any court requires that the participants receive appropriate legal assistance. The registry's counsel support section is in charge of centralizing and coordinating all assistance to counsel at the court for both the defense and victim representatives. The counsel support section also manages the court's program of legal aid for indigent defendants and victims.
The registry assists accused persons, suspects or persons interviewed by the Office of the Prosecutor in exercising their right to legal representation. The machinery of this important service of the court is provided by the Office of Public Counsel for Defence, OPCD. OPCD provides legal advice and research to defence teams and defendants. In practice, this means that the office assists counsel by pinpointing any applicable articles or rules, providing relevant ICC jurisprudence or case law from other international tribunals and courts and designing template motions. The office is also advocating the general interests of the defence in connection with internal and external policies and agreements. The Office of Public Counsel for Victims, OPCV, was established to provide legal support and assistance to victims and legal representatives of victims. It provides legal research and advice to the legal representatives of victims, appears before the chambers, and represents victims in proceedings before the court. The office also undertakes missions in the field in order to meet with victims, collect their views and concerns, gather evidence and material to be used in the proceedings, and keep them updated on the proceedings. It's difficult to imagine a trial at a criminal court without witnesses. All the witnesses testifying are brought to the court from other countries, and the majority are from another continent. It's the responsibility of the Registry's Victims and Witnesses Unit to ensure protection, support and other appropriate assistance to witnesses and victims who appear before the court. The unit provides adequate protective and security measures and makes plans for their protection, recommends to the organs of the court the adoption of protection measures, and assists witnesses when they're called to testify before the court. The support team offers assistance during the travel of victims and witnesses to court. While they're in The Hague, the support team provides services to them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
For the first time in an international criminal court, victims are permitted to present their views and concerns directly to the chambers and to be presented by the counsel. If the accused in a case were to be found guilty by the court, the trial chamber could award reparations to the victims. So far, participation has included making opening and closing statements, questioning witnesses, presenting submissions on legal questions, and presenting evidence in person.
The Victims' Participation and Reparations section, VPRS, informs victims of their rights, helps victims to complete and submit applications for participations, analyses victims' applications, and enters information in a database, redacts identifying information, reports to chambers on applications, and informs victims about outcomes of decisions made by chambers. VPRS also helps victims to obtain legal advice and organise their legal representation. The courtroom, the heart of the court, is maintained, serviced and supported by the Registry. The court management section has the responsibility of keeping a record of the court's proceedings and ensuring the smooth running of the proceedings. The interpreters translate every word spoken in the courtroom and make sure that all participants in the proceedings receive an accurate translation in a language they understand. It involves interpretation into the official languages of the court, but also into rare languages such as Lingala, Zagawa, Acholi or Sango, for example. The International Criminal Court is an e-court, and all documents are kept on hard disks, the electronic versions of documents being the authentic ones. Sound communication and information technology is crucial for the disclosure of evidence and for handling thousands of court documents. Courtrooms are equipped with cameras and all the proceedings are filmed and broadcast through a closed-circuit system to the Court Media Centre and Internet by the Court Management section. The 30-minute delay in the broadcast allows for the possibility of redactions of confidential information. All hearings are recorded and stored in a special vault.
Hearings are conducted thousands of kilometers from the places where the crimes were committed and the affected communities live. Outreach teams in the field are disseminating information and conduct meetings with affected populations from the courtrooms in The Hague to the smallest village in the Ituri region in the DRC. Registry staff is working to ensure the functioning of the court, implementing the highest international standards, supporting all organs of the court and publicizing of the proceedings.
All hearings are public unless special circumstances require that certain proceedings are held in closed sessions to protect victims and witnesses and confidential or sensitive information. Journalists can follow public proceedings from the media centre. The centre is equipped with monitors, computers and wireless internet. The Public Information and Documentation section is responsible for organising thousands of visits to the court and providing information to the media and interested public. A small AV team within this section is following and recording the proceedings and producing summaries. These summaries are uploaded on the internet and distributed through field offices and the office in The Hague to the international and local media, professional public and NGOs. The field operations represent one of the tools relied upon by the court in the effective implementation of its mandate in or near to a situation country. The field offices, where experienced field staff are based, ensure support to investigations and prosecutions, provide assistance to the counsel teams, protect witnesses and victims, enable victims in remote areas to exercise their rights to participation and reparation, and publicise the proceedings. Another important part of the registry work is strengthening the cooperation with the state's parties, concluding agreements with the states in order to facilitate the needs of the court and the enforcement of the Chamber's decisions. The Registrar maintains a continuous dialogue with other international courts, international organisations and NGOs.
The International Criminal Court is a unique court. It is permanent, independent, and it gives a true voice to the victims. As you saw in this video, the registry of the ICC encompasses a variety of responsibilities that are crucial to the delivery of fair, effective and independent public justice.